The vision. The house had fallen quiet at last. Rain tapped gently against the window pane, soft as breath. The baby stirred beside her. Tiny hands curled near her face, lips parting with a sigh. Decima brushed a thumb over her daughter's cheek and began to hum. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Her voice was barely a whisper, half lullaby, half spell. And the sound threaded through the room like silk. Daniel's arm rested around her waist, heavy and warm, his heartbeat steady against her spine. The faint scent of smoke and salt still clung to him from the storm. The baby drifted back into sleep. The world softened, and then the shimmer came. It began at the edges, a light too soft to be real, folding the room inward, bending the air until it wasn't her room at all. Bronwyn stood there, wild hair tangled around her face, cigarette glowing like a coal in the dark. But her eyes, wide, shocked, were locked on something glinting in her hand. A silver necklace. A dark stone at its center pulsed faintly, beating like a heart. For a single trembling moment, Bronwyn's gaze lifted, straight through the shimmer, locking with Decima's as if she felt the watching. "Nan?" Decima whispered, the word escaping before she could stop it. Bronwyn flinched. The cigarette trembled. The stone flared with light, and the vision shattered. Rain, a slammed door, the smell of smoke and city air, gone. Decima gasped awake. Beside her, Daniel stirred, rubbing sleep from his eyes. "You okay?" She swallowed, the image still burning behind her eyelids. "It was Bronwyn," she said quietly. "She had a necklace, my Nan's necklace." Daniel blinked, sitting up. Maybe she found it. "You know Bronwyn. She doesn't stop when something's chewing at her." He stretched, yawning, and glanced toward the doorway. Said she had to go out. Mumbled something about needing a pasty from Swansea. His smile was faint. Teasing. Sounded more like a craving than a mission. Decima smiled softly, but her pulse wouldn't settle. The shimmer still hummed faintly in her chest, echoing the tune she'd just sung. "No," she whispered, eyes drifting to the rain-streaked window, where the sky glowed faintly beyond the clouds. "It's not a craving." Her fingers brushed the sleeping baby's hand. "It's a calling. The Cats of Swansea." Bronwyn lit another cigarette before she'd even finished the last one. Smoke curled around her wild hair like storm clouds. Her boots clattered up the stairwell, each step sharp as broken glass. "What the fuck are you doing here?" She snapped at the figure loitering near the bottom. "You've got no business sniffing around this place. None. Go on. Piss off before someone stupid thinks you're worth robbing." Her laugh rolled low and rough, like gravel, but her eyes glimmered. She wasn't joking. Behind her, Swansea Castle crouched black against the night sky, and the mall still hummed with normal life. Shops on the ground floor glowed with buzzing lights, tills ringing, customers drifting in and out. To anyone outside, it looked like any other night. But Bronwyn knew different. Above the shops, hundreds of flats stretched upward, officially boarded up, abandoned for years, only they weren't empty. The boards had been pried loose and crawl spaces cut into ceilings above the shops. Perfect rat tunnels. Squatters, thieves, and worse had made them their own. Bronwyn pulled hard on her cigarette and blew smoke toward the cracked ceiling. "They've got no fucking clue what they're playing with," she muttered. "They nick herbs, old charms, even a grimoire or two. It's like watching toddlers wave knives. No craft, no sense, just cruelty." The stench hit her as she reached the landing. Rot, piss, and candle wax. Then she saw them. Cats. At least a dozen, strung up by their necks on old electrical wire, swaying gently in the draft. Their bodies cast long shadows against the wall, and candle stubs burned beneath them in a clumsy circle. Scrawled runes, messy and half-copied, smeared the plaster in ash and red paint. Bronwyn froze, jaw clenching, then spat hard onto the floor. "Real witches wouldn't waste a breath on hurting cats," she growled. "That's not power. That's cowardice." Movement in the corner. 3 kids no older than 20 crouched near the candles. Faces pale and eyes wide, they gripped stolen grimoires like treasure. One whispered a nonsense incantation, and another snickered, high and mean. Bronwyn strode forward, cigarette glowing like a coal. "Oi!" Her voice cracked like a whip. "You call that craft? You think hanging cats makes you witches?" She grabbed the nearest book out of their hands and slammed it shut. "You're nothing but scavengers pretending to be kings." One of them tried to stand up to her, puffing his chest. "We've got power now." Bronwyn cut him off with a glare sharp enough to flay skin. "Power? You wouldn't know power if it pissed on your shoes. You don't even know what you've stolen. Her eyes darted to the corner. A wooden chest, half hidden under blankets. The lock was broken, the lid cracked. Inside she glimpsed fabric, leather straps, and something older. A bundle marked with sigils she recognized instantly. Her voice dropped low. That shouldn't be here. The kids shifted uneasily, sensing the change in her tone. Bronwyn pushed past them, tugged the bundle free. Runes etched into the leather glowed faintly at her touch. Her grandmother's mark. She let out a breath, smoke and fury in one. Old things. Witches' things. You little bastards wouldn't know it if it bit you. One boy snatched at her arm. Give it back! Bronwyn's free hand lashed out, cuffing him across the ear. He crumpled against the wall with a yelp. The other two backed away, muttering excuses. Bronwyn tucked the bundle under her arm and turned for the stairs. She paused only once, glancing at the cats. Her jaw tightened. She couldn't save the ones already gone. But one small black kitten cowered in the shadows, eyes wide and wild. Bronwyn crouched, muttering. Come here, love. You're not staying with this lot. She scooped it into her jacket, its trembling body pressed against her chest. She ground her cigarette into the wall, leaving a black scar, and smirked back at the boys. Don't follow me. If you ever string up another bloody cat, I'll be back, and I won't be gentle. Her laugh rolled sharp and rude as she strode away. Beneath it, though, a shield burned in her presence, fierce, unshakable. The kind of woman who would fight the world barehanded, if it meant protecting her own. Part 2, the necklace. Bronwyn shoved the bundle of stolen charms deeper under her arm, but her fingers stayed, wrapped tight around the necklace. She'd pulled from the chest. It was heavier than it looked, the chain biting cold into her palm. Outside, the night air stank of fried food and rain. The city's heartbeat still going in the mall below. People buying sandwiches, grabbing late buses, no clue what was above their heads. Bronwyn leaned against the wall under a broken streetlight, lit another cigarette and stared down at the pendant. A simple piece at first glance. Silver, tarnished with age. But the shape, a twisting knot with a small dark stone set in the middle, made her stomach tighten. Fuck me, she whispered. I've seen you before. She remembered it on another chest, another hand. Decima's mum. She wore it in every memory Bronwyn could drag up. In the kitchen, in the garden, even at the hospital the night Decima was born. She'd never taken it off. The cigarette shook between Bronwyn's fingers. So how the fuck did you end up here? She turned it over. The stone in the center pulsed once, faint. Greenish light leaking through like a heartbeat. The glow sank into her hand, up her arm, and she nearly dropped it. And then came the whisper. Not loud, not clear, but enough to freeze her. Not lost, only hidden. Her breath hitched. She dragged hard on her smoke, exhaled sharp, and muttered, Jesus Christ. Either I'm going senile, or you're talking to me. A shuffle caught her ear. Down the alley, one of the squatters from upstairs had followed her. Not one of the kids, an older man, beard down to his chest, eyes raw with fear. You shouldn't touch that, he croaked. It weren't theirs to take. Weren't ours either. Place near the docks. Lock up. The air weren't right when we broke in. Felt like the walls were breathing. Bronwyn straightened, cigarette glowing like a warning. Where? The man shook his head, backing away. Don't want no part of it. Thing followed us out. I ain't slept right since. Bronwyn pocketed the necklace and blew smoke at him. Then you'll sleep worse if I leave it where it is. Now piss off. He bolted. Bronwyn looked back at the necklace, jaw set. She wasn't stupid. She knew when something was more than a trinket. This wasn't just Decima's mum's keepsake. It was a tether, a key, and if it had ended up in this cesspit, the council, the Kono, all the bastards, would know about it soon too. She flicked her cigarette to the ground, ground it out with her boot and pulled her jacket tighter. All right, love, she muttered to the stone. If you're hiding, we'll find you. And if they're hunting you, well, they'll wish they'd hung themselves instead of those bloody cats. She set off into the rain, the necklace warm now against her chest, pulsing like it knew exactly where it wanted her to go. Glossary, the war within us. Magic and spells. Shimmerlight, the golden, living current of magic that flows between witches and dragons. It responds to emotion and truth rather than command, and burns brightest in moments of love, courage, or transformation. Heart of the dragons. The ancient consciousness that lives within Decima holding the collective fire and memory of all dragons. It guides her when balance breaks and connects her to the first flame ever born, soul bond, bond mark, Ahina, living mark that glows beneath the skin of bonded souls, shared by Decima and Daniel. It ties their hearts, dragons, and power together, letting them sense each other's emotions and pain, even across realms. Wards, boundary spells woven with salt, iron, herbs, and words of protection. They block curses, shapeshifters, false glamours, and uninvited spirits. Tourmaline, a black grounding crystal that absorbs dark energy and reinforces wards. Decima uses it at thresholds and windows. Eggshell circles, cascarilla. Powdered eggshell used to create protective rings or lines on door frames. Windows and mirrors. It seals spaces against intrusion. Shimmer fire, the fusion of witch and dragon power. It burns in pale blue-white flame and can heal, purify or destroy depending on intent. Mirror gate, a magical mirror that acts as a doorway between worlds. It allows glimpses of ancestors, echoes, or other planes, but using it risks drawing something unwanted through. The flame-bound, bloodlines infused with dragon fire. Their magic is instinctive, raw, and often tied to emotion rather than ritual. Ash light, the pale glow left behind when dragon fire burns away shadow magic, a sign that purification or rebirth has taken place. Welsh spell phrases: Kedwer an Aral, Kledoshef Ortan, protect the other, carry them from the fire. Ihangu kinhesu, expand, keep warm. Dim telvidau, no lies. Tambi, living fire. Igelantan, the heart flame. Nidos dichwalid, there is no return. People, Decima Wren, witch of ancient blood and bearer of the heart of the dragons. Her soul is bound to Serenfe, the silver dragon, and she bridges the worlds of witch and dragon kind. Daniel, Decima's bonded partner, linked through the soul-bound and dragon Tanwill, loyal, protective, and driven by the same flame that connects them both. David, Decima's father, a dragon shifter of old blood. He vanishes during his flight and later returns leading the long-lost dragon clans from beyond the veil. Granddad, Tim, the family's quiet anchor, mortal, wise, and steadfast. His calm steadies Decima when her power threatens to consume her. The baby, the unborn child of Decima and Daniel, symbol of unity between witch and dragon. The first to carry both bloodlines. Cassian, once a trusted ally of Decima's circle. He now moves between worlds, sending psychic warnings and guiding them when danger draws near. Mysterious but loyal. Bronwyn, elder witch and family matriarch. Stern, sharp-witted, and protective. Her magic is old and deeply rooted in earth and sea. Dean, witch aligned with the South Watch. Practical and grounded, skilled at stabilizing raw power when others lose control. Samantha, Sam, witch of the North Watch. Copper-haired empath who draws strength from emotion and memory. Her magic can calm or inflame hearts. Myla, once a spy within magical circles, torn between loyalty and conscience. Her gift is concealment, the power to move unseen through glamour and silence. Renee, one of the 7, which is bound to elemental memory and water. Her mirror sight allows her to read ripples across time and emotion. Distant but powerful. Aelrix, a being once worshipped as a god, though his divinity is false. Aelrix draws power from belief and fear, feeding on devotion to sustain his form. He appears in visions and dreams, offering promises of peace or salvation. But his true intent is control. He seeks Decima's child in the heart of the dragons, believing they will restore his lost power. His presence brings cold light, silence, and the faint echo of broken prayers. Virion, a being of starlight and tide, the son of the angel of the sea. Half angel, half something older, he moves between dreams and realities. His arrival always brings calm light, but his true intentions remain hidden. Angel of the sea, a living god in human form, the ocean's own soul given shape. She is not servant to the sea. She is the sea. Her voice controls tides, storms, and memory itself. When she appears, water bends to her will, and the boundary between worlds dissolves. Some call her the first element, others the drowned queen. She does not speak often, but when she does, the sea listens, and the world changes. Between dreams and realities, his arrival always brings calm light, but his true intentions remain hidden. Angel of the sea, a living god in human form, the ocean's own soul given shape. She is not servant to the sea. She is the sea. Her voice controls tides, storms, and memory itself. When she appears, water bends to her will, and the boundary between worlds dissolves. Some call her the first element, others the drowned queen. She does not speak often, but when she does, the sea listens, and the world changes. Groups and orders, the Kono, an ancient coven of witches older than the Witches' Council itself. Secretive and ruthless, they work from the shadows, manipulating both witch and dragon bloodlines for their own ends. The council serves under them, though few outside the Kono know the truth. The Witches' Council, the governing order of witches, created to uphold magical law, but long corrupted by the influence of the Kono. Some still believe in balance and justice, while others serve darker masters. Their decisions ripple through every realm. The Judges, a higher magical order that oversees the laws binding witches, dragons and mortals. Few have seen their true faces. They appear only when balance between realms is broken, passing judgment that even the Witches' Council cannot overrule. Their power is old, impartial, and feared by all. Dragons and clans, Serenfe, Decima's dragon, silver-scaled, wise, and fiercely loyal. Her bond with Decima is both spiritual and elemental. Tunwil, Daniel's dragon, white gold, radiant with inner fire, symbol of clarity, protection, and the light that endures through darkness. David's dragon form, a vast red bronze dragon of ancient line. His flight beyond the veil awakens the forgotten dragon clans. The dragon clans, ancient tribes of dragonkind who vanished into other realms. They return when the final war begins. Storm, frost, ember, and shadow dragons uniting to defend their kin. The hatchlings, young dragons born after the Shimmer returned. Untamed and free from old blood oaths, they instinctively follow Decima's magic. Places and realms. The Sanctuary, the first refuge shared by witches and dragons, destroyed when the rift opened. The hidden cave, Porthcary, secret chamber beneath the Welsh cliffs where Decima shelters Serenfe, concealed from mortal eyes by ancient wards. The Ridge, the scorched mountainside left after the fall of the Sanctuary, still pulsing faintly with dormant dragon fire. The Hollow, cavern deep beneath the mountain, part natural, part living magic. Decima survived her fall here, awakening the heart of the dragons. Berry Cliffs, coastal cliffs in South Wales, where ley lines converge and dragon. Energy seeps through the stone. Heart of the dragon's realm, the inner world within Decima's spirit where dragon consciousness dwells. The space between life and legend. Hangingfield, Cowbridge, an ancient place of reckoning where the judges hold their trials. Witches, dragons, and other magical beings are summoned here when balance between realms is broken. Once a verdict is delivered, the guilty are drawn through invisible gates that open only for the condemned. Hell tunnels Barry Pump House, a hidden network beneath the old pump house in Barry. Invisible to mortal eyes, this is where the judges' sentences take effect. The condemned must walk into the pump house willingly. Once they cross the threshold, the tunnels claim them. The air shifts and seals itself after every soul passes through, the walls humming with the residue of trapped magic. Symbols and prophecies. Dragon mark, the glowing pattern beneath a bonded witch's skin, appears when witch and dragon act as one. Bond veins, the shining lines that appear under Decima and Daniel's skin during powerful magic, living proof of their shared flame. The shattered crown, a vision of broken control and the end of tyranny. Symbol of freedom for dragons and witches alike. Prophecy of flame and blood is ancient. Prediction foretelling that through the union of dragon and witch, the world will either burn or be reborn. Elements and terms. Ashlight, the soft silver glow after dragon fire burns through shadow magic, a sign of cleansing. Ley threads, invisible lines of energy connecting sacred Welsh sites. Witches and dragons feel their pull but cannot always command them. The veil, the thin barrier between the mortal realm and the world of dragons and spirits, weakens when ancient magic stirs. The fire within, the living spark at the core of each soul-bound pair. The power that binds. Decima and Daniel beyond death or distance.